I don't want my suspicions to be correct. Um, but either way, it's a dire situation right now, and it's an urgency that has never um, been seen before. Like the urgency to get people out. They just had a plane land a couple of hours ago in California, um, directly from Wuhan. That's right. Fucking like 240 people on there. Um, Most likely all infected, and they're in this tube. They're in a big tube flying for a few hours, and I'm sure they're taking precautions, but what the fuck? We don't know what it is, and they've stated that, right? They stated a few times but they're still unclear what it is or its origins. So it didn't come from an animal. If it came from an animal, they'd know it came from an animal, because there's certain techniques that they can tell, right? It's like a lock and key mechanism for, excuse me, if a virus came from a specific place or do you know what I mean? I don't know how they do it, but they can tell. But it's still of unknown origins regardless. And they still don't know anything about it. We just, I shouldn't say Canada like we, but like the rest of the world just figured out um, this. They grew a culture, basically a culture of the virus, and the virus can now be used in a more, I guess, accurate scientific way to develop vaccines and figure out what exactly we're dealing with here. Now it's going to take days to sequence this, and but they probably have a pretty good idea of what's going on right now. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as they know, they're just not giving us information that second, right? They have to like meet behind closed doors and share the information and kind of it's top level stuff right now. So, you know, they got to make time to do up the press conferences and it's it's a big job for them right now. It's huge. So let's go in. Yeah, I want to check out this. This is pretty interesting. From I Am Legend. It's basically yeah, the plot. So Dr. Alice Crippen is interviewed about her great discovery. She has changed the measles so that it attacks cancerous cells. Great, good work. She explains that all cancer patients, which her cure has been tested on, have recovered so far. And then the scene jumps 3 years later into New York City that's become empty and desolate place, devoid of all human life. Yeah, it's kind of ominous and eerie. But like it's playing out like a fucking movie. Do you know what I mean? It is. And all the signs are there. Everything. And you got the mainstream media bouncing around half truths. Of course they're not going to come out and say it. They can't come out and say it. But everybody's like, oh, well, if they didn't say it, then, well, I guess it must not be true. It's not fact. What the fuck is fact? Whatever that thing on the fucking TV or on the wall says, whatever those people on that box say to you, is that fact? You just take it at fucking face value and just run with it? Oh, yeah, it must be true. They're telling me it's true. We'd like to believe that that's the way it is. And sadly, in most situations, especially something like this, they're not going to be completely transparent. They don't want to spook people and they don't want to get shit riled up. Like, the stuff that's going down in China, wow, dude, like, it's unbelievable. It is. And those images coming out of there, I don't give a fuck what anybody believes or thinks they believe it might be a fake image or, I don't think so. I think those images are real as you're ever gonna see. And I want to start right here. And for those that hadn't seen the images, it's kind of graphic in some of them. But if we're going to go through them, we're going to analyze them, and we're going to find out. I'm going to show you how I know that these are at least very highly, extremely highly probable to be genuine. Okay, so, and that's all we can go on, right? Nothing's for sure in this fucking day and age. So let's roll it from here and let's check this out. They're fogging the fucking city, dude. They don't even know what to do. It's like, oh, well, it looks like we're doing something. But look, they're taking people's temperatures. Because, you know what I mean? But it's asymptomatic. You can spread it now, and they proved it that you can spread it without symptoms. All those checks were useless. Fucking useless. Look at this. They're in hazmat suits. It's in China. That's China, dude. All the patients got masks on. They're in a fucking quarantine. That's, you know what I mean? Like, that's China. That is China. Look, Chinese letters up there. Look, they're full fucking hazmat. These are days old, maybe weeks old. Look, hazmat suits, China. The guy just walked in fucking dead. He's done. It affects different people different ways. Look, this China. They all got masks on. Everybody's just dropping, dude. And the media here is fucking being like, oh, no, you have to be careful what you believe on the internet these days. You know, there's a lot of false information going around out there. God damn, man, that ain't false information. I don't know if that's credible or not, because that's just somebody on the ground. But it seems to fit in line with what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, look, like this here girl's down. Everybody's got like hazmat, half mat. You know what I mean? They're prepared. They're aware of this situation, so they're dressed going to these people after somebody says 911, there's somebody on the ground. And then they show up in hazmat suits because they know this is viral. And it's a virus. Alright? They know it is in China. But these images are old. They're really old. I found these a week ago. Look, they're fighting over vegetables. They all got masks on. Every one of them. And people are like, oh, these images aren't real. Dude, it's apocalyptic down there. Our government's straight up fucking lying to us. Straight up. They don't even give a fuck. And they're still pulling plane loads of people in. Fuck you guys. Pieces of shit. You just bring it over and infect more. But, like, how far did it spread already? Alright, those are the next questions. Like, look at this. This guy's in a containment fucking thing. They got everybody locked up. And this is real. Check this fucking demeanor. Check his voice. This guy is like, this is life. This is life shit right here. You can tell he's very upset. Look, they all got masks. He's screaming at the head up people. There was an English version with subtitles, but he's trying to get a hold of upper management, and nobody's answering. There's nobody to come pick up the dead bodies. Dead bodies are everywhere. Take my advice at face value, but you know what I mean? That's the gist of it. But who knows what he's saying, right? But obviously that's a... He's terrified. He's mad. You know, this is weeks old. Could be weeks old. Imagine what it's like there now. Nothing new has been coming out of there for images, except in the other cities. Wuhan, that place is fucking... It's not even in this planet anymore. It's not even on this planet, really. They had that place so locked down. So look, and these are images. These are real. Look, everybody here has got masks on. You can see the doctors. Everybody is stressed up. This isn't somewhere else. This isn't happening at a different time. Nowhere else did this ever fucking happen. Ever. This is real shit. Look at the same suits. The same suits. Same white and blue suits. That's like, you know what I mean? You just gotta put it together. These are real images. This is real shit. It came out of here a while ago. Right? And we're not gonna watch it because it just keeps on going, right? But like, you get the hint of it, right? So I am 100% sure that my suspicion is very valid. Um, and I have every right to be suspiciously suspicious of this. I've been following it for a week. Um, let's see, my first post on this was this one. It's so out of control now, great. January 23rd, 7 a.m. I was up like all night watching this shit. I was like, unreal, this isn't happening. It's like, and I knew once they quarantined the fucking city of 11 million people, the city of Wuhan where this started, I was like, what? I know that's never been done before, and you would never close off 11 million people. Alright, and then all these images start coming out. And I'm like, is it real? Well, I'm like, well, actually, you know what? Those look pretty fucking real. But I didn't really know at the time, 100%. And then all this, as it's funny. Things keep going. Then Texas A&M student suspected case. On January 23rd. Alright, coronavirus lockdown China as the deadly virus strikes Wuhan. So this is on the 23rd. Let's check this out from the 23rd. These videos are probably old from there at that time, right? Like, these didn't just come out right at that moment, I don't think, but, it might have been a couple of days before they were either uploaded or they started circling around. So it is a delayed. We're definitely getting a delayed data for sure. But this is like before shit hit the fan. But they were getting ready. People were still doing their thing. There was really no lockdown now.
能不出来，千万别出来。这个事儿现在远远比你们想象当中要严重，知道吗？真的非常非常严重。看这里边，现在这是医院里边，已经是什么样了？看见了吗？看着跟他妈生化危机，我操，跟他妈生化危机一样。
But anyways, yeah, we've seen those too, right? But like, these are old images. These ones are old. I posted these a week ago. They might be a week or 2 weeks old. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at these guys, hazmat suits, showing up in hazmat suits. They know what's going on. This is real. This is fucking happening. This is the hospital that they're building. These are all like heavy machinery back here, and they're digging up the ground to build this like 1,000-bed hospital. Well, actually, they're trying to build a 2,000-bed hospital. They knew way before how bad this was. You know what I mean? Everybody over there. But, it's like it was, the government said, no, don't worry, it's nothing to worry about. But what we know and what we don't know on fact, on paper, as the media says, this is what we know. This is from January 26th, so this is 3 days old. And let's just check this out.
潜伏期大约在10天左右，最短的潜伏期有1天发病，最长的潜伏期是14天。潜伏期具有传染性。
So he's saying the shortest incubation time is 1 day, and the longest is 14 days. But is it really? There's no real concrete evidence on it yet. They're just going by what they kind of think. Maybe it's longer than 14 days, and that's really bad. Incubation time means how long it takes before the virus is, in your system and you start showing symptoms. Now, wow, they don't know anything, but let's just keep going.
这同SARS 有很大的不同。
Right there, this is very different than SARS. So that says a lot, right? This is very different than SARS. These guys are being like almost forced to do these updates because the shit's hitting the fan, but they know what's going on, but they're not gonna say it. Come on.
防控工作力度会进一步加强。
Control and prevention work will be strengthened.
应该
I think control and prevention measures, basically saying that they're gonna put in like restrictions everywhere, right? Now there's a report out saying that's a very bad idea. Because, what else do you do, right? But basically, if you're quarantining people in a spot, you're going to create a concentration of more, it's just going to spread more in that population. So anyways, let's continue.
在一段时间内，防控的措施陆续产生作用，发挥效果，疫情的流行强度将会下降。从疫情的认知来看，主要途径为呼吸道传播，但对新型冠状病毒的认识还十分有限。
So, our knowledge of the new coronavirus is limited. It's brand new. And what also is a aggravating factor in this whole thing is because it's brand new, our bodies have not developed any antibodies towards it. We don't have an immune system to it. So we almost have no chance in fighting it off if we come in contact with it.
传染源还没有找到。
The origin hasn't been found. Also, we are not clear about the mechanism of
传播致病的机理，以及
transmission, and if the virus will be mutated. The virus will mutate. That's what a virus does. Every person's body is different. So they have a different diet, they have different exercise, they live in a different climate, they live, you know what I mean? It's all different. The virus has to adapt to that person's body. While the virus is adapting so that it can live and grow in its environment, it is evolving and it's mutating. That's what a virus does. And it will mutate, and the more it mutates, well, who knows? It could mutate a million times. There is really no, do you know what I mean? We don't know. But there's mutations that are good mutations. Mutations that can mutate into something where it can cancel itself out. It can also do that, right? But we'll see.
变异的风险还不清楚，更多的临床。
Just so everybody knows, I became a virologist in the last
一
week.
断什么？就是坚决的阻断病毒。
Okay, and he goes on to say, they're going to shut everything down, and this is what, January 26th, and it's the 29th, and they have shut everything down. They basically canceled all the flights out of there. Air Canada, I think just recently, a couple of minutes ago, half hour ago, I guess, canceled their flights. There was another company that canceled their flights like an hour ago. So it's not that they're being canceled. It's not up to the airport and say, oh, well, we're just going to make this decision on our own. No, they were told, it's lockdown now over there. And it's like they're leaking it out into the population as if it was like, that the airlines have some kind of say over this, like, we're going to cancel our flights now. And no, they're being told by the utmost, Geneva and the World Health Organization, like, this is top level stuff, and they're just being like, you're done. That's it. No more flights. So it is contained in there now. And that's 1.1 billion people. They're predicting a negative, 5% negative growth for China in the next report, and that is nuclear on a scale of economics. That is huge, but how long will it last? Nothing is operation over there. All the factories, all the workers, all the stores, everything is closed. It's at a standstill. Think about that. Unless there's something going on that we're not being told, this is major overkill. Or it's the biggest hoax in the history of mankind. Let's hope it's, let's hope it's a big hoax. I really do. But unfortunately, it was a thought and it was a notion at first, and I was very skeptical. I had about a 50%, 50-50 view on this when I first started following it. I was like, well, I don't know. It's kind of fucking crazy. And then I was like, I'm actually seeing that they just locked down 11 million people. And then a couple of days later, everybody thinks these videos, somebody, they think they're not real. they're definitely real. And our government is fucking on the news saying, well, be careful what you, be careful what you watch on social media. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Not strictly saying what, but you know what I mean? Even if they were strictly saying it, why wouldn't they? If these were, and they are, in fact, the actual images, you don't want people over here seeing that shit and believing that's the way it is. Because, hey, they want to keep things calm. That's what they want to do. And that's protocol. Of course, it is. It would be protocol. And they're going to wait till the last moment. It's just going to creep each day, and we're going to wait for each news conference and each news update. But it's only been progressively getting worse. And you can see the absolute dire situation this is. It's painted everywhere. Red flags from day one, since I seen it. And I was like, wait, there's something wrong with this. This isn't right. This isn't normal from anything. And then I started doing researching, and lo and behold, my suspicions are being validated every day. And it's not something that I'm definitely proud of. I'd rather be so wrong. I would rather look like a dummy tinfoil hat. Let's get it on. I will go buy some tinfoil right now. Because I have that. Tinfoil. But seriously, I went out and I bought a bunch of multivitamins, immune system boosts, vitamin C's, and we have to be very... Wow, coronavirus. We have to be very careful with packaging from China. Now, they did mention in the latest update, and I will try to find it here, but they did mention that it is transmissible on surfaces. So meaning that if somebody has it and they touch a surface and you touch that same spot in that surface, well, effectively you could get it. So they figure it could live up to 7 days. So just take that into consideration, anything coming from China. Especially people. Plane loads of them. What the fuck? I'm sorry, but that is not even, it's so stupid. Just creating more problems. You know what I mean? And obviously, the U.S. can't just leave the citizens there because, what does that say? Do you know what I mean? What does that say to the world? That, we can't actually go in there now and get our citizens. Well, what the fuck? Is it that bad? You guys can't, what the fuck is happening? That sends a big message if they don't do something. So I can see, yes, why they went in there, and they're taking these huge measures to try and stop the spread from, a plane load of people fucking basically infected people coming over on American soil and North American soil and whatever soil, they happen to be going to. There's planes, they're up in Alaska. Those cocksuckers. that was where I was gonna head, was Alaska. You know what I mean? There's nobody up there. Fuck. Well, that's I won't be going to Alaska. Yeah. I don't think we'd have to go that far, hopefully. But if it ever came down to it, we gotta look at the fallout of this situation, which isn't really being explored, but it's being explored now, and I am exploring it. Trust me. Because if the markets crash, everything comes from China. Fucking everything. Apple shit, iPhones, fucking Google, holy fuck, the stuff that comes out of there for the world's production and everything. I hope you got, stock up on cell phones if you're like a cell phone fucking person. Because I don't think they're going to be making too many more in the future, as it stands right now. So, lost the fucking connection. Lost connection there for a second. But we are, I think we're coming back up here now. Yeah, she's good. Okay, so back to this CNN business. Yeah, let's check this out. China stock crash. It's been crashing for a little while. Well, that's on its market bailout. Okay, that's a lot of money, but I don't think that has anything to do with what's going on right now. Let's see. Goldman Sachs isn't worried about China. Don't panic the investors. You don't want them to pull all their money out at once. Anyways, global markets should brace for China slowdown. I'd rephrase that and say China meltdown. And of course, like, why not call it what it is? Chinese official defends intervention. We must take action. Yeah, fuck. There's nothing they can do to save it now. If it's as bad as it is, and it is as bad as it is, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's fucking terrible. Look at what this virus expert has to say. See what this guy says. And this is posted January 24th. Almost effectively 7 days ago. Or, well, yeah. I guess 6 days ago. But, here we go. Let's check this. Let's see what this guy says. It's almost a week old, right? It's increased 20-fold since then.
This new virus may be more infectious than SARS. Super spreading events must be occurring, otherwise the number will not jump so high. And now we are seeing human-to-human transmission in family clusters.
Now listen, human-to-human transmission in family clusters. What does that mean? That means that it's being spread progressively out, and they're seeing pockets like starting to sprout up from somebody who definitely carried it and brought it to another place. Now, let's see what else he's saying.
And also in the hospitals, we have seen patients, especially children, who have a pneumonia but has no symptom of fever or cough, which means that it is not easy to recognize these cases of novel coronavirus infection, which makes the control of this outbreak more difficult. Once you start to have cases that has no connection to Wuhan, means that there are local chain of transmission happening, and that is extremely worrying.
So, let's go over that one. Local chain of infection, local chain of transmission happening. That is exactly what's happening down in Singapore right now. There's people coming up with cases that have never been to China. And it's only a matter of time that this is going to start spreading in the US like this, in Canada, and anywheres. Okay, a local chain of transmission is very worrying, he said. So it's very important for us to control it. Okay, you cannot control a virus. A virus does not know borders. It will go wherever the fucking host takes it. And those planes have been flying out of there unabated for pretty well a full month after this was reported. And it was probably, this was taking place, had to have been spreading before the, first case was reported. If there's one, there's got to be dozens or hundreds. And, it's just, Okay, so anyways, let's just check this out some more.
So it is very important for us to control it. Everybody, once you are outside your home, on public transport.
You see that video? This is from Time magazine. Okay? Look. This video is one of those videos circulating that people say is not real. Look at these people. They're suited up in hazmat suits. And all these other videos I've been showing you, it's the same depiction. It does not take Sherlock Holmes figure out that what is going on is being vastly or misrepresented, or maybe the numbers, they can't tell us any more than what the official numbers are, right? But it went from 500 cases 6 days ago to over 6,000. Let that sink in. And how many days was this going on? How many, months? Like a month. And, it's huge. If you know how a virus transmits and works, it's actually quite fascinating. Because, and like I said, I just in the last week here, crash course in virology. It is a mechanism that is, especially, we're dealing with this one, it's not natural. And I don't care, it came from the lab. So what they have done is they've taken a virus and they've heavily modified it to the point where it is designed to transmit and spread. This is what you want to do for a possible, maybe it was a weapon of mass destruction, maybe it was, a virus being studied for a good purpose, but somehow leaked out or got out somehow. Because nobody in the right mind would ever do something like this. Unless, it was I don't know. You never know, right? Not intentionally. I don't think, because they'd be putting themselves at risk. But, who knows? We can only speculate 1,000 things, but let's not. It's out. Is what all that matters. Whatever this is, it is shutting down the world. Day by day by day. Every single place is going to start to get locked down. Now, they will need to contain this. If they realize that it is as bad as it is, they know that there's going to be collateral damage on this. It's just the way it is. But you're going to have to sacrifice maybe many for the few. It's that's where it's at right now. If they can't control this, and this thing is constantly going. It doesn't go to sleep. It doesn't stop when we stop. This thing is constantly pushing forwards. And it obviously is an outbreak of epic biblical proportions to lock down their whole country.